Now, those of you who have heard me speak before, the Global Technology Distribution Council or one of the other conferences, will know that I was never worried that the Eurozone would come apart. You know, this isn't a bunch of American redneck children playing chicken on a game of tractors, on tractors. These are, you know, very competent politicians. It may not have felt like that at some times for you, but they had an agenda. They had, you know, deals that they wanted to get, and so they were always in control of this crisis and trying to, there was no, the thing about a game of chicken is there's no point in saying, okay, we're going to leave the Eurozone if you don't give us a good bailout package, and then say, in parentheses, actually, we're not really going to leave the Eurozone, right? The whole point of a game of brinksmanship strategy is that you must deliver an effective threat. And so a lot of people were worried, and the markets were worried. This is an indicator of systemic financial stress in the Eurozone. And this indicator was as high as it ever was during the global financial crisis, during the Eurozone crisis. And that's an indicator that's published by the European Central Bank. It basically looks at market volatility. It looks at interbank lending rates. And essentially what was happening as a result of the Eurozone crisis was this was really going up. It wasn't just banks that were panicking. It wasn't just financial markets that were panicking. It was also consumers. They were saving basically every last penny they could make, including in saving in things that just don't make a lot of sense to buy. But if people are not trusting the banks, then where do you put your money? They put it into gold, shiny metal, and Swiss francs. It wasn't just consumers that were doing this. It was corporations as well, not only in the Eurozone, also in the UK, in the US, actually Japan as well. Companies were relatively profitable during this period. Now, this is a slow motion crisis. It's a crisis driven by political events, so it takes a long time. It's relatively well advertised. Companies had a long time to prepare for the kind of slowdown. Most companies were able to maintain a relative degree of profitability. Maybe not great profitability in Europe, but balance out from your global operations. They were able to adjust relatively well. But any cash they did get, they didn't invest it. They put it in the bank. And so if you have these three things together, right, if you have the financial system that is under stress and banks that aren't going to lend, if you have consumers who are putting their money into anything, rather than spending it, and if you have companies that are not investing, then you have an economic slowdown. And that is this kind of long recession that has been with us today.